Hi guys, you are welcome to Highline Football. We're going to preview tomorrow's Champions League final between Paris Saint-Germain and Arsenal. As Opta puts it, it's going to be a blockbuster encounter between an immovable object against an irresistible force in Budapest tomorrow. The immovable object being Arsenal and the irresistible force being Paris Saint-Germain. And the reason why Opta puts it that way is not far-fetched. Arsenal has the best defensive record throughout this campaign. They've conceded the least goals. In fact, they've gone unbeaten throughout this Champions League campaign. On the other hand, Paris Saint-Germain has scored the most goals. They've scored 44 goals throughout this campaign. So, this is a match between an attack-minded team and a very solid and defensive team in Arsenal. Paris Saint-Germain has a very fluid attack. Kivicha, Dembele, Desiree Doué. These are very fast, pacey, and good attackers. And then we have the likes of Gabriel, Saliba, and Raya in goal. A very, very defensive team, a very solid team. Arsenal is a team that is difficult to score against. They rarely concede goals. So it's going to be a game of PSG trying to break down that Arsenal's defense and Arsenal holding onto their fort and making sure that they don't concede. Because if Arsenal concedes the first goal, they'll have no other choice than to come out and try to equalize, and that will open the floodgates. So for people who foresee that Arsenal will be very pragmatic, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be. They should be pragmatic. They are going against the best attacking team in Europe. So I don't expect Arsenal to be very open at the back at all. If they try to be open at the back, PSG will slaughter them. But there's something important I want to add. Initially, when I realized that these two teams were going to play the final, my initial thought was that PSG was going to destroy Arsenal. In fact, I made a post and said it was going to be a carnage on the field. But fast track to the build up to this final and the reviews I've made, I don't think it will be too one-sided. Yes, the bookies favor PSG to win the match, and rightly so. They are the defending champions, for goodness sake, and they want to go back to back. They want to win the Champions League the second time in a row. That's an extra motivation, whether you like it or not, and it gives they come with a better experience. Basically, 80 to 90% of the players who won last season's Champions League with PSG will be playing in this match, so they have more Champions League experience than the Arsenal players. The last time Arsenal won the Champions League was in fact, the last time Arsenal played in the Champions League final was in 2006, 20 years ago. They didn't win that final. They lost that final to my club, Barcelona. So Arsenal has never won a Champions League before. This is the second time they are playing a Champions League final in the last 30 years or so. So they lack the experience. On the other hand, PSG, they just won the Champions League last season. So you can see why most bookies favor Paris Saint-Germain on paper. But every final is different. Like they always say, finals are not played, finals are won. No matter how you win a final, get it done. It's not about how you win it. The fact is, win the final and get the damn trophy. Get more goals into the damn fishnet than your opponents. Whether during normal time, injury time, or through penalties, just get more goals into the damn fishnet more than your opponent, and you carry the trophy. So, like I always say when I make my videos about football is about putting the ball into the damn fishnet. If you like, make 100 passes, 10 accurate shots, make 150 runs into the opposition box, and you don't put the ball into that damn fishnet, you are not winning any game. So the team that scores the most goals would win. So how do I think, where do I think this game will be won and lost? Let's start with PSG because they are the defending champions and they are the favorites. PSG would likely win this game if they are clinical in front of goal. Arsenal will not give them so many opportunities. If they have 3 or 4 shots on target, their attackers have to be clinical. Dembele, this is not a time for you to be missing opportunities. There's Redoué, your shots have to be accurate. Your decision making in the final third has to be on point. Kivicha has been the most informed player in the Champions League this season. If the records have it that he has been involved in most goals and most assists in the Champions League. Goals and assists put together, he's been the most involved player. So he's the most informed player in the Champions League this season. He has to pull up again. He has to pull up his A game. If he's on his game and he has 1 or 2 chances and he takes 1 or 2 shots on goal and puts 1 or 2 into the net, I think PSG may win the game straight up. But if Arsenal are able to put up a very good defense and then get a counter, that is where Arsenal can be very dangerous tomorrow. If they are able to shut down PSG's defense and transition the ball quickly whenever they win it, that is where people like Declan Rice come into the picture. If they can pick up that ball in midfield and distribute it to players like Saka or your boy Madueke, depending on who Arteta wants to start on the right wing, on the left wing, most likely Trossard or to Gyökeres in the box. They have to transition quickly because PSG have Nuno Mendes and Hakimi. They are 2 wing backs, left or right back, however you want to call it. They like to overlap. Those guys, I call them attacking fullbacks. They are not defenders in my opinion. They are attackers. They like to attack. So they will leave a lot of spaces behind for Arsenal's attackers to take opportunity. They need to counter-attack tomorrow. That should be Arsenal's priority. Defend very well. Do not concede an early goal, Arsenal. If you concede an early goal, you will lose the match because you're going to come out and then leave more spaces, and this marauding attack of PSG will just devour you guys. So hold your forts, hold your goal very well, and counter. Launch a deadly counter and then pack the box. Come on, your manager is referred to as one of the king of haram football. So if you can manage to get the goal against PSG, just lock shop and get your trophy. So my predictions, I think PSG is going to win the match. Yes, the bookies favor them and I think they're going to win the match. I'll be surprised if Arsenal beat PSG tomorrow. But like I said earlier, I don't expect the victory to be a landslide one. I don't expect one team to dominate the other. I expect a very slim scoreline in favor of Paris Saint-Germain. So let's see what happens tomorrow, 5 p.m. Nigerian time at Budapest. Let's see who becomes the next Champions League winner. Congratulations to PSG in advance. And bye. See you guys tomorrow.